Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How you all doing today? A happy new year and a happy 2023 to each and every one of you out there. This is Brother Tyrone, your Global National Kingdom reporter, always on the move and always on the go on the 15th day of January of 2023. And today is not only just any day, this is also the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was born on this day of January 15th, 1929. I hope you all had a very, very good holiday. And before I begin, I do want to take this time to thank each and every one of you for all the love and all of the support for myself and my family during this time of the two recent losses that I have had in my family. It means a lot to me. I thank you. My family, thank you. We all thank you so much for that. We all thank you so much for that. And I also would like to welcome you to another sit-down conversation with Brother Tyrone, aka the Kingdom Reporter. If you have been following some of the interviews that I had did, with my first one was with Brother Cookie of Cookie Productions over in Canoga Park of last year. He was my very first one. And then a second one that I did with Brother Joe Tovar of Salvo Arte in Canoga Park. And also with Brother Marco Jimenez, whom I have known from Chosen Generation just last year, right before the holidays. And now we are up to number four, with another brother that I am also going to be having a sit-down conversation with today as well also too. And he also too goes to the same church as Brother Marco Jimenez. This brother whom I have known for quite some time, and whom that you're all also going to get to know as well also too. This is a brother that is always, from the time that I have seen and known him, he is always, and I do mean always, on fire for the Lord, and always getting high in the Lord as well also too. I mean high in Jesus, not the high that you all know what I mean, okay, when I say that. But this brother, like I said, let me tell you something. It's like I always see God in him, of what he does, at his church, and also devoted family man as well also too. But I'm going to let you all take the time and get to know him as well also too. And this is going to be one very, very good conversation that I will be having today. And all of you that's coming on right now, like Sister Lisa, how you doing, Sister Lisa? Sister Lisa, before I go any further, my sympathies and condolences to you and your family during this time, and I continue to keep you guys in prayer. Brother Tony and Sister Veronica from Van Nuys Cruisers, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sister Roberta and Salissa Gutierrez. Oh yeah, folks. I'm actually I'll tell you in a second. Salissa, that's the person I'm interviewing. That this is her husband, but you're going to get to meet him right now, ladies and gentlemen. Without any further introduction and no further ado, I would like to introduce to you also not just my Brewline brother, but also a brother and member of Calvary Chapel Church Eastside here in Palmdale, California. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the brother of the hour, Brother Victor Gutierrez. How are you doing?
How's it going, Tyrone? How's it going? Pleasure being here. And as my brother said, condolences to anybody who has lost family members in the last year. We've been a part of that. People, we lose people all the time, and I just want to show my condolences, my deepest condolences and prayers to all of those that are watching. Tyrone, it's a pleasure being here. I'm a big fan of this guy, man. Every time I see Tyrone's videos, I just see the work that he does for the Lord, and it brings so much joy that he brings such a passion and fire to his audience and to what he loves to do. So thank you, Tyrone. Thank you for everybody that's viewing. My wife, who's down a couple of steps from us. I hope you enjoy this one, baby. I love you.
Oh yes, and yes, you're welcome, Sister Lisa. You are welcome. Brother Victor, what we're going to do is we're going to dive right in right now, and this is going to be a very fun day, and also a very fun interview as well also too. And like I said before, Brother Victor, thank you so much once again, for having me, and also for welcoming me into your home as well. And this is, I will say, this took quite some time, for us, for me to get with you, because, you're busy, with your things, with your hauling business,
right,
which we're going to get to
right,
in a minute. And plus, even with me, being on the move, and on the go as well.
Praise God. Yeah. So, this has been in the works for a couple of months, like my bro said. Just things that have been going around the holidays and the get-togethers, and me barely starting up my business a couple months back, and I know Tyrone's always on the move. This was supposed to take place last year, but due to circumstances, we had to push it to this new year. But it's an awesome way to open up 2023, I think, not only for myself, but I think for Tyrone's channel and what he wants to do this year and for the years to come.
Absolutely. Let's jump right on in, shall we? And brother, just relax.
Yes.
Take it easy. Just think of this as a conversation among brothers. Okay. What we're going to do right here is we're going to go way back into time. Back to a time when life was much simpler, and when you did not have much or anything to worry about. Take me back to that time to where you were born and where you were raised.
Yeah, so my story in the beginning is not much different than most of us, I think, growing up here in SoCal. I was raised in Palmdale my entire life. I've been in the desert for going on 25 years now. It was a very quiet upbringing, I think, because we're kind of a little bit far off from the city and from where more action takes place. And growing up wasn't anything special. I think it was very quiet, very sheltered upbringing, but that'll play a major role into the further along in the segment. But yeah, pretty much just growing up in a Christian house with almost an only child, because all of my siblings are over 10 years older than me. So I didn't really get to have, even though I have siblings, I didn't really get to live much with them. So it was always just me, my parents, taking place, in school, a lot of sports, a lot of community activities around the community. So those were things of my upbringing.
Absolutely, and also even back then in those days, including myself, growing up in Harlem,
right,
growing up in Harlem, it was much more. I'll tell you this, it was much. The reason why I say it was much simpler is because back in those days you did not have the technology that took over like today right now. Like today now in 2023, you say, in 2023. And also, I know you had just explained about your parents right now. How your parents played a huge role in your life?
Yeah, I think my parents played a crucial role in both the positive and the negative. The positive because my parents always have been people that have tried to work their entire life. From the moment they came from Mexico, they got to this country, they, strove to give us a better life. And they did do that. They accomplished that. I remember my parents, to this day, my parents are in their 60s and they still work. They still have the ethic. They still have the desire and the drive to go and provide for themselves, but not only for themselves, but for those that they love. But I also can say that, within all of that, I was a very spoiled kid. And that plays a big emphasis, at least in my testimony, which we'll dive deeper in segment further down in the segment. But yeah, I think they played a role in showing the work ethic, showing the love and the desire. And not only that, but when my parents came to this country, they they were interested in Christ. And so they from a young age, they instilled in me, read the scriptures, do prayer. They put me in private school. All throughout my life, I went to schools that were, emphasizing Christ, whether it was elementary, preschool, middle school, high school. So those are things that they did play a crucial role in my upbringing, in fear of the Lord, in reading the scriptures, in prayer. Of course, as we grew up, we all make mistakes, and I think that's where the negative aspect was, because I was very loved as a child, and my parents always allowed me to get away with things. And so when you spoil a child and you smother them, like my wife likes to say, it creates kind of that dynamic where the boy not only grows up thinking that his whole life he's going to get away, but one day he's going to become a man, and life is going to hit you hard. And that plays into my testimony, which we'll get further down, where, my parents played a good role and a bad role. I thank them for what they've done, for the sacrifices that they made, not only for me, for my loved ones, for my siblings, but I also see where we're not perfect, but that's pretty much.
And you know what, and also too, the mom, the parents, mom and dad, they always play a very, very huge role in our lives, including myself also too, because what they have planted in us, we are able to still carry that within us today. We carry that with us today. That we can also pass down to our kids. To our kids, our cousins, passing it down to them. But there's always, it is always that thing, that thing right there, that mom and dad, or mom or dad, or single parents that they always place that something in you that it always will stay with you forever. It never leaves. And you also said about with your mom, with your parents, a bad role, or some what you had just said, which also leads me to my next question.
Yes.
We all have faced many challenges, and many challenges, jump the hurdles, and cross the obstacles as well. Mm-hmm. Can you share your testimony of the trials and the tribulations, the challenges that you went through?
Yeah, I think early on, as I said, growing up, you think that the world is to your feet, especially us as men. We think that the world, man, they can't touch us. We're above everybody. We're smarter. We're more cunning. We can get away. And growing up, especially during the high school time, that was the case in a lot of situations where I would find myself overly prideful. And at that point, the Lord tells you, you're already of the age where you know what's right from wrong, even from before that. But especially now you're at the age where you have responsibility over your own actions, your own thoughts, the desires of your heart, whether you're thinking in the flesh. See, at that time, though, I was already falling away from Christ. I grew up in the faith, but I took a big turn, brother, when I was growing up. And so my challenges and obstacles started at a very, formative age. It was a very crucial age. I think one of the biggest things that I was talking to a customer yesterday that I went to go clean the trash for was that one of the biggest mistakes was getting into alcohol and marijuana at an early age. That's a horrible recipe when you add the addiction aspect, the pride that I had, and then the anger that I faced, that I also had, and I still had up until a couple of years ago, where it creates a dynamic for disaster. It allows the enemy to come in, sweep you up, and use you for his bidding in any way that he deems fit. And so growing up, some of the challenges and obstacles that I faced was addiction to substances, anger, and pride. Those were ones. So those were increasing as I was going through high school. When I got to college, it's when it really got out of hand, brother. I started doing other substances as cocaine, going to parties, being with women. doing things that were outside of the norms of biblical standard, you know. And so these things were leading me down a path where in college, I was 5150. For those who don't know, it's when somebody is going through a mental breakdown and they try to harm themselves, or they say, because in my case, I said that I was going to harm myself. So, you know, these were the things that I was facing in college, aside from my addiction to alcohol and marijuana, which were huge, and also facing the anger, which I would be in relationships left and right in college. I'd go with this girl, and we learned that today with the guest speaker that we had. You try to find an outlet for love. Instead of, see, the sad thing is that as humans, we try to find the love of Christ in the worldly sense. We try to go and outlets through alcohol, partying, women, relationships, and we try to fill that gap in our heart that can never be filled without the Lord.
I hear you. And you know what? And it's also, you know, once again, the trial and tribulation, that we go through, where sometimes it consumes us as well also too. But how you get out of it, and how you also get plugged into it we'll be talking about in the next segment. I'm going to take a quick little intermission right here, and you don't want to miss it or anything as I continue to have the sit down conversation with Brother Victor. I will be right back, and please stay tuned. I'll be right back.